Welcome to the latest episode of First Impressions, where I try out brand new video games so you can see whether you think you'll like them before you even try them. And today is a very special episode because I have partnered with the guys over at Skinny Bandit to take a look at the game Mechjestic. And not only will I be giving you my first impressions of the game, I'll also be giving you some tips and tricks so you can make the most of your first playthrough. Mechjestic is a brand new game from the guys over at Skinny Bandit where you can hop into a roguelike RPG. Yes, I said roguelike because you play as a frog, or frog, I mean, and build mechs during card battles as a character called Froline, who is a frog, and her trustworthy mech, which is called Iron Tadpole. Basically, there is an evil villain called Dr. Kronos, and his insectoids are on the loose, and the only way to fight back is to collect cards, build Froline's deck, and craft powerful mechs in strategic card battles. This game is a lot of fun. We're going to get into it right now. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below and like this video, and the demo for this game is out right now. So if you like the look of what we're about to go through, then make sure you head over to the Steam link, which is in the description, and add it to your wish list, as well as downloading the demo. All right, let's get into the game. Now, there is a tutorial for this game, which I've skipped over because I've managed to have a couple of playthroughs, but I recommend you guys go through that because it's a great little introduction to the game and gives you some broad strokes on how to play. We're going to be giving you a lot more information within this video, which should be helpful if you want to jump straight into the game. Immediately after the tutorial, you're presented with this page where you get to build your deck. You need to have a minimum of 15 cards in your deck, which is what you can see on the right-hand side here. I've got 9, and you can have a total of 50 cards. Each one of these cards has different attributes, both positive and negative, and you have different sorts of cards, whether it's equipment, function, and various other types of cards as you go through the game. The equipment cards tend to relate to a specific limb on your mech, the Iron Tadpole. So here you've got right leg, right arm, torso, left arm, and left leg. If you manage to get a full set of the same type of card, so for example, these cards are all related, then you get a bonus. So a full set of this card will allow you to draw 3 more cards and give your mech a plus 10 HP. It's worth being aware that all cards have positives, but some of the cards also have negatives, so you do need to be aware when you're applying them. For example, this Frigid's Cheapo leg, the right leg, gives you plus 2 defense, but also takes 1 off your HP every time you defend an attack, and you'll see that a little bit more as we go through the game. The function cards do a variety of different things, whether it's a reckless throw, for example, which takes 5 HP off you, but also 2 HP off your enemy. You've got quick repair, which increases your HP by 5. You've got look of the draw, which allows you to draw 3 cards. And one of my favorite cards, actually, which when you first start seems to be a bit of a wasted card, is the coal stack. And I'll talk about why I like that card so much as we go through. For now, we have to get some more cards into our deck. We haven't been and collected anything specific yet, so mainly we've got function cards that we can use, and we need to make it up to at least 15. So I'm going to whack another coal stack in, because coal stack gives you fuel, which you need to use some of your cards. You'll see here on this function card, it takes 2 fuel. A coal stack can be burned at any time, refueled, or activated to give you more fuel. Let's add another look of the draw in there, another quick repair in there. Let's get some weakened defense, because weakening defense of your enemy is always a good thing. A broken weapon card, a weakened power, and I think a trash hoarding as well, which allows you to reclaim other cards. So we've got 2 of those in there. So we built the deck up to 20 cards. Let's get into the game. Right, before we get in, let's talk about this screen here. At the top left here, you can see this is your HP, 30. At the bottom left, you can see this is the number of moves you can have. So you can have 10 moves to get to any one of these squares. So the idea is that you move around this board, some of which is obscured. You just get hints of what's in front of you. As you move around, your moves will reduce. So if I move 1 square, you can see my moves move down to 9. Once you reach 0, you start to take points off your HP for every move. So as I move around, you can see the moves are counting down. There are little treasure chests on this map as you go through. These are well worth jumping to because they give you brand new cards. For example, this left arm. This is Frolam's Fist. This is one of my favorite decks. This is a hero card. So we're going to get that directly into the deck because that's super powerful. Remember, if you get cards of all of the same type, which you can see the top right here on the Frolam's arm, Frolam's Fist, you can see on the top right, if I can get all of the Frolam set, I'm going to get a bonus, which is plus 10 on the mech HP and a power plus 10 for 1 turn. I love these Frolam cards. That's what I want to get to, is just a full deck of Frolam cards. But remember, you only get a certain amount of moves before your HP starts counting down, and if you enter a battle with low HP, you're going to be in a bit of trouble. Part of the issue here is that we can't fully see what's around us. Let's get into a battle so we can see what that's all about. So when you enter a battle, you will draw a series of cards. On the left-hand side here, you can see how much fuel you've got. On the top left, you can see how much HP you've got, also how much attack power you've got, and how much defense power you've got. Also, any abilities can be seen up here. Just below your HP, you can see your right arm, right leg, right arm, your torso, your left arm, and your left leg, and that relates to some of these cards. So one of the first things you want to do is check out your enemies. You can see here that your enemy has 5 HP, 6 power, and 6 defense. You can also see that they actually have some abilities. So the Swatter Resilient has a random shield to increase user defense 1 through 3 during defending. So when you're attacking, a dice will essentially roll for each one of these and decide what ability they get, if any. So you might start a fight thinking that they only have 6 defense, but actually what they have is 7 or 8 or even 9. And the other Swatter Aggressive here has a random force of 1 through 4. So again, you might be thinking you can survive a defense from one of these attacks, but actually they roll the dice and their power goes up by potentially 4. So let's have a look at our deck. What cards have we drawn? So you can see here we've got our coal stack. Like I said earlier, the coal stack is interesting because it takes 3 fuel to activate this. But refueling and activating this card does the same thing. It gives you 6 fuel. So let's go ahead and refuel, and you can see our fuel goes up on the left-hand side there. So let's have a look at what equipment cards we've got, because it's well worth getting those on your mech as soon as possible to power it up. So Frigate Studded Arm gives you user defense plus 2 and takes 1 HP after defending. With each card, you can either activate or refuel. So, for example, if I was to refuel this card, it would burn this card, but it would give me 3 extra fuel to use within the game. So, if you're ever in a position where there's a card that you don't really want to use, but you need fuel, then you can click refuel and it will burn that card. Anyway, let's activate some of our equipment. So, we've got a left arm, right arm here. Let's activate that, and then you choose where you want to activate that. You don't want to put one of these arms on one of your enemies. You want to put it on your own mech. So let's get the right arm on there, and you can see our defense increases by 2. We've also got a torso, which is going to cost us 1 fuel. This gives us plus 1 power and plus 1 defense. This is a great card because there's no negatives to it. So let's activate that and pop it on our mech. And you can see the mech change and adjust as you add different items to it. The rest of the cards we've got are just function cards. This one is quick repair. We've got pretty good HP at the moment, 29 in the top left-hand corner, so we don't have to worry too much about that. Weapon break is a great one if your enemy has a weapon and it decreases their power by -3. And weaken power is to target the power of the next turn. So let's go with a weapon break. Activate that, and then you choose one of your enemies to activate that on, and you can see the power of that enemy is reduced by 3. You can actually see that when you hover over here, any abilities that have been added to an enemy. Here's the problem with this guy. He may roll the dice and get another 3 or 4 power. Anyway, we've pretty much used the cards I want to use. I'm going to save this card for the next turn. The next step would be to attack and to choose which enemy you want to attack. We're going to go with the left-hand side that's got a reduced power. You can see here that these guys look fairly simple, but because their defense is quite high, you're in a difficult situation where sometimes you hit them and it has 0 effect. Once you've done everything you want to do, end your turn. Your enemies will attack you, you will defend, and you can see that I've lost 2 HP there. We draw another card. We've got Frigid's Poor Leg. This is user power +2 and mech -1 after defending. So let's activate that because I think we need a little bit more power. You can see now we've got the right arm, the torso, and the left leg. We're also gonna reduce the power of this guy again because I'm scared of his dice roll that he's gonna get too much power and hurt me quite badly. We're gonna go for another attack again. We're actually gonna do some damage this time. -2 HP. The way I play is I tend to focus on a single target at a time, try and take them out of the fight, and then move on to my next target. Just so I'm taking less damage if one of them's down. Sometimes you'll only face a single target. All right, so let's end our turn. Good job we used the attack reduction on that guy because that dice roll is really rough. Yes, we got our special hero card. First thing I'm going to do though is do a bit of a quick repair on my mech because we've lost a little of HP. And then we are going to add Frolam's left arm into the situation. Here's another thing to note. If you get to a position where you've used all your cards, you can buy another card, but it will take 5 HP off you. I don't think I need to do that right now. We're going to go in for another attack with our big hero card, left arm, -3 on that guy. And he is out of the fight. But you can see, due to the negative impacts of some of the items I've got on my mech, I also lost 2 HP there. End my turn. Take on an attack. There's only one of them now. -2 HP. And we've drawn a weakened defense card, which is perfect because these guys can be a bit of a nightmare with their defense. So we're going to activate that. Pop it on this guy to weaken his defense by 2. Go in for an attack. He's got +2 shield from his dice roll, but we are going to do some damage. -5 damage. And there we go. We win. That is the fundamentals of a fight. And at the end of every fight, you get to select a prize. And that prize could be a function card, could be an equipment card. And from here, you can either go to your deck and add your new function card in. Or you can just continue on with the game. Let's continue on. Every time you finish a fight, your mech will regenerate. So we've got 2 more moves available to us, and we've got 30 HP again. Here's another point to look out for on the map. These squares down here. These increase your moves by whatever the number says in the middle. So we're on 0 moves at the moment. We're going to do -1 to get in there. And we've got 5 more moves to go to. So the aim is to get to your destination within as few moves as possible so you're not reducing your HP too much. The other thing to note on some of these is whether it's easy, moderate, difficult, you know, how tough is the enemy that you're looking for. Let's go down here and see if we can find any more chests. I've made mistakes here. I'm really losing HP. See here, some of the chests are hidden behind battles. So let's get into this regular battle. This is not an easy one anymore, and we've got some new different types of enemies. We've drawn our cards. So let's have a look at what we've got. We've got 2 equipment cards. Let's get the torso on here, and let's get the left arm on here. Let's have a look at what our enemies have got. So one of the abilities that the Corruptular Disruptive has got is disposing of a random card from the player's hand after attacking every second turn, and that can happen a maximum of 5 times. And we've seen the SWAT Resilient before, who can roll a dice and get use your defense 1 through 3 during defending. Let's have a look at what else we got. The trash hoarding card allows us to salvage 2 cards from our trash pile, but we don't have any cards in our trash pile at the moment, so there's no point using that. We are going to use the weapon break, though, if we can. First thing we're going to do is refuel. Get some fuel in there. We're going to use a weapon break on this guy over here because he's got pretty strong power. And I think we're basically in a position now where we can go in and attack. And we're going to go for this big guy first. He's got lower defense, but higher attack power. We want to get him out of the fight. Let's end our turn there and see how we get on with the attack. -2 HP, not too bad. Look at the draw card where we get to draw 3 cards. Let's activate that to see if we can get some more equipment on our mech. No equipment, but we have got a weakened defense and a quick repair. Let's go ahead and refuel. And we're gonna go for a quick repair on our mech. Get us up to 28 HP again. Just make sure we're all good there. And then we are going to weaken the defense. I'm actually going to weaken the defense of this guy because he's got higher defense and also has the dice roll. And then we're going to go in for an attack on the smaller guy. I know I said I'll focus on one guy at a time, but this is the point of this game. It's all about the strategy of it. Who do you attack? When do you attack them? What cards do you use? What's the negatives and positives of each card? And, you know, what do you do within each turn? Let's end our turn and see how we get on with the attack again. They look pretty brutal, those attacks. So you can see there, we can weaken power and we can do some... Let's do some trash hoarding. Get a couple of cards back in. We can refuel here. And we've also got look at the draw again. Let's activate that and see if we can get 3 cards from our deck again. And we've got Frolem's Fist again. I'm going to activate that because the power increase on that is just too tempting. Takes us up to 9 on our power. We've also got another draw 3 cards. We've got an armor break here, which again, I would like to use on this guy, but I don't have enough fuel. So we're going to go in for an attack on this guy. -4 HP, and he's out of the fight. We drew an armor break, which is great for us because we really want to use that on the next turn, but we might have to burn a couple of cards. So let's end our turn there. Take an attack from this little fella. We've just drawn another equipment card, and we don't have anything on our right leg. We can see up here. So let's activate him, pop him on here. And we're also I'm gonna refuel this card so I can use the armor break on him. One thing I want you to note here is, look, when you hover over certain items, it sometimes tells you the predicted impact of that item. So we won the fight, we got 3 extra moves, and what prize will we get? Another coal stack. I really would have liked some equipment there, but let's continue on. I don't think I need to add that to my deck right now. What we have unlocked, though, is this treasure chest. So let's add our 3 moves, see what we can find in the treasure chest. Let's get a Frolem's leg. Yes, let's go to our deck. Get Frolem's leg in here. We want that. I want the full hero deck. Another 5 moves here. Another treasure chest. Amazing. Another card obtained. Frolem's knuckle. Let's get him in the deck as well. So we've got 3 Frolem cards now. And we got a regular fight here. Let's get into another battle and I can show you a couple of more things in the battle. Right, let's immediately refuel. Get some extra fuel in there because I would love to get Frolem's Fist. Remember, Frolem's Fist is powerful, but it also takes HP, 2 HP after attacking. So we're going to activate it just because I like the power. And you can see that's attached to the mech there. Let's get our torso one because that's +1 power, +1 defense, which is great. And like I was saying earlier, you can actually see the impact that some of these things have. I'll show you on the attack in a second. So let's attack. When I choose my attacker, if you see when I hover over him, in the top right-hand corner, you can see the expected impact on his HP. This is not always going to be accurate because these guys do have dice rolls, and if their dice roll is for defense, you may see less impact on the attack. But we're going to go in for an attack. That helps you to choose where you should be placing your resources, where you should be placing your attack, because you can see who you can damage quicker. All right, let's end our turn there. So these guys both rolled for +1 force, -2 HP on us. We can actually weaken their power, which is great. We've also got a weapon break here, which is -3 power. So I think we'll probably use that, I think. Activate that on this guy. And then why not, if we can, weaken power, yes we can, on this guy as well. Just so the impact of their next attack is going to be a lot less. So when I go to attack, again, I can take this guy out of the fight. You can see his HP drops to 0 when I click on him. Or I can take this guy down to 2. We're going to take this guy out of the fight. So we've killed him and gained 1 move. Let's end our turn. We've reduced his power already. He's rolled for +1 power. So we should take limited damage. In fact, no damage at all there. And I don't think we need to use any of the cards. I think we can go straight in with an attack here and take this guy out of the fight. Win the match. Get another prize. Get some more moves in the bank. And carry on to see if we can... We didn't take him out. What the hell? I didn't mean to refuel that. That was a mistake. Mistakes happen. Let's activate trash hoarding. Let's refuel this. Let's do look at the draw. See if we can get some more cards. We got Frolum's knee. Let's activate him just for fun. And let's... We might as well weaken this guy's power, right? We might as well. Let's just get in there. I really thought I'd won that then. He can't do any damage to me. He can't do any damage. I'm too strong for him now. We might as well do a quick repair on our mech. Why not? And then go in for an attack. We've got to beat him this time, surely. -2. That's him out of the fight. Oh, dear. I spoke way too soon. Guarding gears. +3 defense. Let's get guarding gears into the deck. Confirm that and continue on. So as you can see, with each fight, the more battles you have, the more you go through, the more chance you have of collecting cards that are going to be impactful for your deck. We want to go up here. It's going to take some moves. 5 moves. So you can see we've got Dr. Kronos here, which is our final boss. A worthy opponent and a regular opponent. Let's have a look over here. We got another chest. 1 more battle to get to our chest. Let's have a look at the abilities that this guy's got. So the attacker has -2 HP after defending. So when he attacks us, we're going to lose 2 HP. And this guy has the random force. Okay, let's see what we've got here. We may as well get some equipment on our mech. Just so, you know, I want to get the Frolum stuff on me. That's what I want to get on me. Ultimate Frolum deck is what I'm looking for. But, you know, for now, let's use what we've got. Let's do an armor break. I'm going to do an... Let's refuel this. And I'm going to do an armor break on this guy. Because I know he's a bit of a pain. Just from experience. And we're also going to weaken the power on this guy. Just because I don't want him to be hurting me too much. We're going to do our attack on this guy who's got weakened defense. -5. Immediately out of the fight. That is a one-hit wonder. Amazing. Let's end our turn there. Not too bad. But you see, we lost an extra 2 HP there because of his special ability, the hazardous body. I'm going to do some trash hoarding. Oh, we can't do trash hoarding because we haven't got enough fuel. All right, we're going to go straight in for an attack then. -3. We're pretty strong. This mech's pretty strong. But we still lose 2 HP. Let's end our turn there. Coal stack. Let's refuel that. And then we can reclaim some of our cards that we trashed. Let's activate the weakened power just because this guy's pretty strong. And activate trash hoarding again. See if we can get some other cards back. And we're gonna weaken power again. Get his power right down. And we might as well just hit a refuel on that. See if we can take him out of the fight. -2. It's over for him. It's over. We win again. Let's see what other prize we get. Oh, another piece of equipment. Let's add that to the deck. That's +3 defense, -1 power though, +1 fuel. So with this one, fuel +1 after attacking, which is pretty good sometimes. You see a couple of the situations there where I just didn't have the fuel that I needed to be able to do what I wanted to do. Okay, let's continue on. I think we've opened up a treasure chest, haven't we? I think we've got the opportunity here to open up a treasure chest. What have we got? Yes, Frolam's Stomp. So we've got left arm, right leg, right arm, and left leg. I think we've got one more card to get the full complement of hero cards. Let's continue on. Let's go and get this fight because we're kind of low on moves here. We're low on moves, so I want to get into a fight so I can claim some more moves. Look, immediately in. Look at all this Frolam stuff we got. So let's activate Frolam's right leg. We might have to burn some cards here. Let's get the left leg on. We are gonna... I'm gonna burn trash hoarding. And then we're gonna activate Frolam's fist as well. Look at him. He's nearly fully Frolam. He's nearly fully Frolam. And for now... So we've already got a left arm for Frolam, so I'm not going to put this on, but we don't have anything on our torso. So if I refuel this, will I get any fuel? 0 fuel from that. So we're going to have to kind of hold off. Let's get an attack in. He's got a +2 shield. I'm not sure we'll do any damage here. -4. Oh! That was a good one, but we also took -4. That's the problem with some of this Frolam stuff. That is the problem. Let's end our turn there. The impact on your HP can be pretty damaging. Right, I'm going to refuel this so we can also activate Frolam's right arm. Because now, look at our power. We've got 15 power. We're going to take this guy out of the fight, hopefully. Look at me, I'm like a red monster. The Frolam stuff really takes the HP out of you. We're in a tight position here. But I think if we just attack here, we should be good to take this guy out of the fight. See, when you get those hero cards, when you get that hero deck, +7 moves there, and we really, really, really want the next Frolam card. Well, we got a quick repair. Okay, Frolam wasn't there. Let's get another quick repair in the pack, I think. So we got 9 moves. This is the challenging thing about this is like I would love to find another chest. But I can't remember where I've been. Ooh, that one there. That's the money card. Redoes all your moves. Okay. I just want to explore the map. I think I've got all the chests I can get. Maybe. So we're going to go for a worthy opponent. We're in a strong position now with our deck. So one of the things that I've done here is I've entered this fight with only 26 HP as opposed to the 30 because I've been using moves. So let's get our equipment added to the mech. Get ready for this fight. Now, Reckless Throw is an interesting one because it takes 5 HP off you and 2 HP off them, which in some situations, you know, you might be able to use that tactically and go, actually, this will kill them without me having to attack, and I've got enough HP to handle that. We're pretty much in a position where we need to go in for our attack now. I'm going to go for the weaker guy. Take him out of the fight immediately. And end my turn. Let's refuel with our coal stack. Do a quick repair on our mech. Let's draw 3 cards. Let's see if we can get some more Frolum stuff. Yes! Frolum's right leg. Let's activate him. And this is a right arm, which we don't have, so we may as well activate a right arm. Increase our defense a little bit. Have we got room to do? Let's do a Reckless Throw on this guy. It's going to take 5 HP from us, but I think now maybe we can take him out of the fight. There we go. That Reckless Throw, although it did some damage to us, it also put us in a position where we, you know, we managed to take him out of the fight. A bulky pilot right arm. It's not a Frolum, but it's, you know, it's okay. It's okay. We've pretty much covered the map within the demo. The next attack would be Dr. Kronos. But I'm going to leave you guys to enjoy that one yourself. Let me talk to you a little bit about this game and my first impressions of it. Now, historically, I've not been one that is drawn to turn-based games, but a couple of games recently have really changed that for me, and this is one of them. And one of the interesting things about these deck builder games is the more you play them, the more interesting it gets, because as you start to become more familiar with the cards, more familiar with your own stats, and more familiar with your enemy stats, you start to play in a different way. The strategy involved is much more significant than I probably originally thought about the game. So, you know, there are some enemies that look quite measly. They look little like puny things, but their defense stats are quite high. So there have been situations where I've gone to attack what I thought was the weaker opponent, and I've just clinked against them and done no damage whatsoever. So as I've gone through, I've started to say, okay, well, I know this enemy quite well. I've come up against this before. I really need to use like a weakened defense or an armor break against this guy, even if the other guy is actually a more powerful attacker or looks more intimidating. So as you go through, you start to learn your enemies. You start to learn what their abilities are. So you'll see as we go through the game, it's the rolling the dice to increase defense, to increase power, to stop you from drawing cards. You really start to get to know your enemies well and start to attack them in different ways and use different things. I really do want to get to the point where I've got a full Frolum mech. That's what I want. Just all red, super powerful. But as I said, even those cards have their negatives. Yes, they're incredibly powerful, but, you know, you do lose HP when you use certain cards. So it's all very intricate and very interesting about how you combine cards and how you build out your mech. Artwork wise, I think this kind of steampunk inspired thing is interesting. You know, why it's a frog in there, I don't know. But I like it. Who doesn't like a frog in a mech suit? I love that. But, you know, the artwork is... They've kept it simple, but it's interesting enough to keep you engaged. But this kind of game really isn't about, you know, how graphically advanced it is. Although it looks very nice, it's more about the strategic element of it. Like a lot of these card battle games, deck builder games, it's more about how you use things and when you use them than it is about like how good it looks. And that's been evident from lots of popular card builder games that have come out recently. And I think this is going to be one of those popular card builder games because I think it just has enough in there to keep you intrigued. It's very rare that I'll play a demo multiple times, and this is my third, fourth playthrough of this, and it keeps drawing me in. Usually I'll play a demo and then I'll be like, okay, I'll wait for the main release. But actually there's enough going on in here where I'm like, no, I want to make sure I've got all the chests. I want to make sure I've got all the cards. I want to see what combination of cards I get on this run through, you know, how that differs from other run throughs. So there is a lot going on here, and it really keeps drawing me in. So, you know, how this is going to advance on the full release is going to be really interesting, I think. A wider variety of cards, and there's so much room for expansion with this. Adding new cards, adding new enemy types, adding new maps. You know, this feels like a game that can grow and grow and grow and get more interesting over time. So I really recommend that you guys go and give this a wish list. The demo's out now, so you can actually go and play through this, and you're going to get your own unique playthrough. It's not going to be what you've seen here. I will leave Dr. Kronos for you guys to do on your own. That's a battle I think we all need to fight on our own. But I think it's well worth you jumping into the Iron Tadpole as Froline in this roguelike RPG deck builder game. I've really enjoyed it. I think that the developers have done a great job, and I'm excited to play the full game when it's released. So let me know down in the comments whether you've enjoyed this, whether you played the demo, and make sure you wishlist it, because indie developers, one of the best things that can happen for them is you wishlisting a game. It really shows Steam and shows the community that the popularity is there and that it's something that people should be looking out for. So leave a comment below with how you got on with your run through. Let me know whether you've wishlisted the game, and let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button below and like this video, and share it with anyone who you think has enjoyed any other deck building roguelike RPG games. And if they like frogs, this is one for them too. Alright, I'll see you on the next one.